And the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. All these things that God set into being, day and night, summer and winter, the seasons, they're all going to be. They're not going to cease. Now the law stands firm in the face of all realization to the contrary, and operates in all fields of endeavor. The immutable laws of God are both blind to color and creed, and there's no respecter of persons, only conditions. And who gets to fulfill the conditions? We do. Just like driving a car. You've got to put the key in. You fulfill the conditions. You put yourself behind. I haven't taken that class yet that Jim Coons runs. Offensive driving. SOD. Strategic offensive driving. You have to place yourself in that particular position so that you don't run into things or have people run into you. Now, these great laws that God has set up revolve gravity. You ever get hit on the head by a nut walking underneath a tree? Gravity. Newton found out this great law of gravity. Now you've got motion. Heat rises and cold falls. How about E equals mc squared? Physics, chemistry, biology. The farmer knows the laws because he reaps exactly what he sows. And he always reaps his best seed. He doesn't sow the uncream of the crop. He doesn't sow that stuff that he didn't want to sell. He saves the cream of the crop for next year, and that's what he sows every year. Farmers aren't stupid. They're smart. They know that the laws of God work, and they don't change. How about cause and effect? And the speed of light and sound. These are all natural laws. It doesn't make any difference who applies them. 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, you're going to get what? Water. It's nice to drink. But you get thirsty up here. The entire universe now is governed by the laws. And all these laws, all the life within this entire universe is spirit. And all of life operates according to law. Laws of God were given to bless and preserve our earthly lives. Now, what do you know about the laws governing your life? What do you know about things pertaining to your life, the inside of you? Not relating outside, but what inside? What do you know? What do you know about your tabernacle? You've been taught most of them through your physics, chemistry, home economics class all through school. You've been taught what to eat, how to make it, basically in chemistry and your physical science class that I had when I was in parochial school. I don't know whether public schools had it, but things relating to your body, anatomy, chemistry, all these things. You've been taught basically all the things that you need to know, but it hasn't been put into a nutshell so that you can really relate to it and put it into your life. Let's look at what I believe has got to be the start of this whole thing. And what do you think is our springboard into this new adventure called life? PFAF. Okay. That's why I'm not in Wave Productions. Now, PFL, that's got to be the springboard. That's got to be the foundation for everything that we do. This introduction to lessons in living has to be structured, rooted, and grounded in power for abundant living. In Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11. Leviticus 17:11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Now every cell of that body, every cell is blessed by that life which is in the body, the blood. The blood. Blood is like your gasoline in your car. Without gasoline, what would happen? It would cease to run. Blood, if it drained it out of your body, it would cease to operate. Your body would just, I just quit. The car quits too. It's smart. It just quits when there's no more gasoline in it. Now, the life of the flesh is in that blood. Let me tell you what some of the things that the blood does. It'll nourish your cell. Number one, it'll nourish the cell. Two, it replaces worn out parts. I wish our car would do that automatically. Number three, it carries away the waste products. The blood does all those. It will nourish, replace, and carry away all the dead. Your skin replaces itself in a matter of, I think, 3 or 4 days. You get a whole new set of skin. Isn't that unbelievable? Wish my car would paint itself like that in 3 days. God really set this thing up neat, didn't he? What a body. But the life of that flesh is in the blood, and it does that. Now, the bloodstream fights the infectious diseases. It has the white corpuscles. Everything pertaining to life is in that blood. Now, anything that you put into your mouth eventually is going to affect that blood, right? Because, well, if you put a nice apple into your blood, into your mouth, it gets digested, and then it goes out into your blood, and then that blood supplies, nourishes, replaces, and carries away all that you need to have life. That's a law that God set down so that he could bless and preserve your earthly life. Because he knew that your car, not your body, was not a car. And he knew that you needed that food, living food, in order to maintain a living blood, in order to have a healthy body and a sound mind. Okay. Now, if therefore something goes wrong organically with a part of the body, whether it be the brain, nerves, bones, organs, glands, or skin, then in all probability, the nutritionally derived material in the blood was not of a quality or a quantity sufficient enough to maintain that life in the blood. Now, we all understand symptoms and causes, right? Now, symptom is like within cancer. You'll have a boil or a tumor erupt on your arm, okay? Now, that's just a symptom that cancer is within a body, all right? The actual cause of it is within, okay? Blood, too, is the cause of all your sickness. If it's not pure, if it's not alive, then your flesh will show up a symptom of being ill. But if you got healthy blood, if you got high-powered octane super plus Ohio gasoline, whatever that is, your car is going to run fast. And your body is going to run smooth and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. Now, these laws governing our bodies, they're just as accurate as the laws of gravity. The laws of E equals MC squared, light, sound. These laws are accurate. God set them down so that you could have a life, and have a life more than abundant. Now, nature never deviates from her established laws, and obedience to the law of nature is always profitable, even if we don't understand it. Those who will not obey nature will suffer, because all the forces of nature will aid you if you obey them. God will bend over backwards if you disobey the laws that he set down so that you could have life. And you're just going to fight yourself if you keep breaking them. The people who will obey nature by exercising discrimination and self-discipline will benefit. And creation has been governed with the iron hand of fixed laws. If you plant potatoes, you're going to get tomatoes. Oh! That'd be messy, wouldn't it? Can you imagine walking on the ground, get potatoes, go, potatoes, you're going to get potatoes. If you plant tomatoes, we're getting ready to plant a garden too, so I'm glad. Now we know that all that law has a spiritual background. God set it up in his foreknowledge for a spiritual purpose, to bless and preserve our earthly lives, to bless and preserve Israel, to bring forth the Savior. It all had a spiritual intent. That once again, that he could send his son, that he could have a permanent dwelling place. Ephesians, my first year in the Corps. God's whole goal in life, when man blew it, Adam and Eve, was to once again have a permanent dwelling place. And all those permanent dwelling places are sitting out there around the world. Born again believers, sons of God. That's God's permanent dwelling place. You're the tabernacle. You're the temple collectively. What a joy, huh? To be the fulfilling of God's heart's desire. God's habitation.